he'll go down as one of the worst prime ministers in Australia's history.
And rightly so. As Prime Minister, I will
make history. Not in the way he wants, not with a legacy-defining, nation-changing, transformative agenda, but he could make history by being the first
Chicken Little
Prime Minister in nearly a century to lose a chook raffle government after just one term.
Of course, I am
One of the worst Prime Ministers
in Australian history. Peter Dutton will say,
the worst Prime Minister ever.
and as people can confirm,
and here's why. At the last election, when Albanese won, Labor's primary vote was a historic low of just 33%, the lowest in the history of the Labor Party. And that's when Albanese campaigned heavily on cost of living, and he pledged that all areas of life would be more affordable.
cost of living increases, cost of living pressures, cost of living, the cost of living, cost of everything, cost of living issues. Bear in mind the cost of living pressures.
Well, they were the Mount Everest of broken promises.
My word is my bond.
But I had my fingers crossed.
And Australians know it. Voters feel on a daily basis that life is more expensive. Every transaction at the supermarket or the local shops, well, there's the shock at just how much basic items now cost. You never get used to paying $5 or more for a coffee or $9 for grated cheese. This is the cost of living crisis that Albanese pledged to solve, but has only worsened under his watch.
That's my style. I hope you've noticed that.
So if Labor's vote was 33% before Albanese's broken promises, well, I can tell you Labor heavyweights are shuddering when they think what it will be now.
I also know that
Everyone hates me.
everything in life's a bonus. Some people have said,
Anthony Albanese is the worst Prime Minister we have ever had.
that's who I am. People normally agree to it.
Support for Albanese has crashed. The Herald's Resolve Political Monitor shows his net likeability has dropped from a honeymoon high of 34% to -17%. And some research suggests he's
super gay now.
With Alan Joyce,
This is my 35th Mardi Gras.
I'm someone who I believe is
now as unpopular as Scott Morrison was ahead of the last election. And this is a reflection of his multitude of broken promises and his weakness as PM.
He is weak, he is gutless, and I hope the people throw him out at the next election.
Now, Albanese returned to power, he returned Labor to power after 9 years, a long time in the wilderness. But then you have to look at what has he actually done in office?
Sweet bugger all.
it's what Labor governments do.
As Peter Dutton said yesterday, well, Albanese doesn't appear to have any legacy to speak of.
What has the government achieved over the course of the last 3 years? If they'd achieved anything, that he wouldn't have to resort daily to the personal attacks on me and my colleagues.
We're a better country than that. I want to change politics. Be very clear. I want to change politics. I want to change the way it operates. I want Parliament to function properly. I want our democracy to function properly. That's why I'm in this.
The truth is that I'm in it to
Resort daily to the personal attacks on me and my colleagues.
and that's what I intend to do. Showing respect costs nothing. It enriches all of us.
I want to change the way that politics operates in this country. I want it to be more inclusive.
Anthony Albanese is going to have to call in Tom Cruise because this is sounding like Mission Impossible.
I feel a sense of responsibility. I think that Australians want a change of government.
Oh, yes.
Albanese's big move that was meant to define his legacy, the voice to Parliament, it only divided our country. And he further divided our country with his government's obsession with criticising Israel, which has only contributed to a terrifying rise in racism against Jews. Personally, Albanese has also shown Australians who he truly is.
You know, he's doing very poorly in the polls. He put glasses on so people will think he's smart. And it just doesn't work. You know, people can see through the glasses.
I'm very transparent. Of course, I am.
Weak, ineffective, not very intelligent, certainly never the smartest person in any room. He's not across the detail. He's unable to exercise authority over his own cabinet. You look at ministers like Tony Burke, Penny Wong, or Tanya Plibersek. And I can also tell you that aside from the polls, many seasoned and high-profile political analysts have privately told me that they form the opinion that Dutton will win the next election. And if Albanese does make history and loses after just one term in office, he'll go down as one of the worst prime ministers in Australia's history.
I understand though. I understand that I've been fortunate.
He's squandered the time and hasn't done a single thing to make our country a better place.
Today I'll make this point. That Peter Dutton will say,
Mr Albanese.
You're fired. Get out of here.